How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stream. We're gonna have some fun today. So I got the entire set of all the new Wine Country Micas in from Casey Martin. He just started up that business, and so he sent some over the hill to me, and I'm pretty excited to play with these things. He's got some pretty interesting, different, a little bit unique types of things that he's offering. So we're gonna just be playing with that pretty much today. The other thing is we are also going to test out these pretty cool silicone molds from Jake Thompson over at Jake's Blanks, Northside Custom Crafts, hashtag Jake Blanks. So I'm pretty excited. This is going to be pretty fun. Right now, so I have a couple of these. Unfortunately, I only have one 5-gallon pressure pot, and you need a big one for these to fit. They don't fit in my 2.5s. So I'm gonna save this one. This is like bigger blocks. He sent me 2 of them, which he's like, pick one. And I was like, I don't know, you pick, whatever. And he ended up sending both of these things out. So I'm gonna save this one for the next time because I'm gonna be using Alumilite Clear Slow, which reminds me I probably need to refill my jugs, but we'll do that, I guess, on the stream. But I'll save this one for down the road because what I wanna do is the other one is single blanks. And so, you know, pen blanks. But I actually have a very specific use that I want to use this. So I got this thing in the oven right now, but here's the other one. So how many blanks is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pen blanks in one shot. This is going to be pretty awesome. One thing I also didn't do was calculate how much resin we're going to need, but it's not going to matter. We're going to be fine. So that's what's going on today. The second batch, we're going to just use one of my regular molds. Like I said, something that'll fit in the pressure pot. I could try to double stack, but what I want to do is try different things out. So it doesn't really work too well if you're using a 12-minute working time resin. And I don't really want to use an epoxy because we'd be here all night waiting for it to set up to pour, most likely. So anyway, that's going to be the game plan, going to be pretty fun. And I'm just going to pick a couple things out from the powders. I want to play with, there's a couple that I definitely want to play with. So, and I'll kind of give you the shot of what's all going on with all these different micas. But he's got a bunch of different glow powders, and I really want to play with those. That's what we're going to use the single blank mold for. Glow powders tend to be kind of hard on, they're like abrasive. And they're hard on blades, so I thought rather than do the block mold that Jake sent, let's do the single, the single pen blank, so I don't have to cut them. That'll be awesome. So we're going to play with a little bit of glow powder on that one, and we'll try a couple different things out. Maybe if you want to super chat, we can kind of figure out which colors to go with it, and we can add other things in with it. It's not like I just need to look at, I don't want to just make boring red, glow in the dark. I want to kind of play around with this a little bit. So if anybody has any thoughts, some ideas, I haven't given it a ton of thought. This week has been kind of nuts, and today's been kind of nuts. I've been on the phone and craziness always right before the stream. Then the other thing that I want to play with and that we'll use kind of that bigger block mold for, he's got some, let's see, let me get the right ones. He's got these flakes that are like holographic, kind of like a macro pearl, but like holographic, and I want to play with those next. And there's other things too. So let me flip on the overhead and I'll kind of show you the whole lineup. He really kind of put some thought into, the products. He didn't want to just be like, okay, here's the same colors that everybody else is selling. He kind of has some unique colors and some different things. That's why I'm pretty excited about this. So let me flip on the overhead. Look at all these crazy things. So here are our glow powders. We got a blue. And so glow powders can have some differences to them, right? So let me just hold up these two. So this is a blue and blue. All right, so it's blue during the day and then blue glow, right? And then there's also this one, which is like the white, and you see this stuff a lot more. I would say that this has been around longer, I guess, glow powder, where it's like white, and so during the day, it's like kind of milky. It's just this milky white, which typically you would want to like add some dye or something like that to it if you want it to look, different during the day. But then this one also glows blue. All right, so we have blue, red, and green in the colorful ones, which I think this is what I want to go ahead and play with. I know what to expect kind of with these ones, but he's got green and blue for the other ones, basically, the ones that are kind of more like milky during the day. So that'll be our glows that we're going to be playing with today. That's going to be pretty fun. And then here are the, let's see, what does he call them? Macro Red Color Shift. So these are like color shift powders, but like a macro pearl. So it's going to be really fun. I got to get on camera here. My view screen is like upside down, so every time I do something, it's in reverse. So pretty cool. So we got a red macro, let's see, what is it called? Macro Red Color Shift. We got macro violet color shift. So kind of like, you know, like the interference colors, I would probably say. We got red, blue, violet. Very cool. This one's blue, macro blue. And we got, oh, this one's a little bit different. I'll show that in a second. Macro green. So like I said, it's kind of similar to, you can kind of think of like a lot of like the interference colors. It's kind of what these are like. And they're kind of crazy. It's going to get all over the place when you're playing with these guys. And then he's just got a white holographic, which is just kind of like a glittery, but again, kind of like a, that one's kind of like a glitter, I would say. Hopefully you can see that. And, oh, this one's a white with blue holographic. So that's another, it's kind of a little bit more like the glitter, I would say more, rather than like the macro pearl. And then a silver holographic. And this is kind of similar to my micro starlight. A little bit bigger though. It's actually the micro starlight that I have is like super tiny pieces. So slightly like right in the middle. And that's kind of like a glitter. So pretty wicked. Those are the other ones that I want to kind of play with a little bit that I was really interested in when I opened this up. He's also got the full array of your interference colors, all right? And I'm going to put those to the side because we just recently played with interference powders. Another thing that I like, so he's also got just your regular, like the macro pearl, right? You guys are kind of familiar with that. What I'm really stoked about is he's also got micro pearl. I really like micro pearl. If you want, oh, this glitter is flying all over the place. If you want, you know, like that mother of pearl look, micro pearl is how you get it. I'm actually gonna turn the fan on because these little glitters are flying all over my face. Hold on a minute, guys. Gonna blow it away, blow it away. Okay, and then the last thing that we got is all the colors. All right, and Casey, I don't know if he's here yet. He said he was going to try and stop in, maybe answer some questions, which I actually have a question for him if he is here. I'm curious what, there he is here. So we're going to be doing the glow powders. What ratio, do you have any tips on ratios for glow powders? That's always kind of I'm always kind of on the fence with what to do. So really cool. One thing that I love about his, the names, so it's Wine Country Mica powder, right? And so he's got like Pinot Red and let's see, he had a bunch of really cool names. Let's see here, Rosé. It's kind of like a pinkish kind of color. Pinot Red is like a nice dark kind of red, like a burgundy almost. Golden Syrah. so he's totally going on the wine country theme. I love that. Chardonnay green. That's a nice looking green, nice kind of light green. Bright yellow. So he's got, you know, like kind of this, you know, the typical colors and everything. Violet, gold, a bright yellow. Let's see, black pearl. This sky blue is really nice. It's kind of a nice light. Almost has a little bit of turquoise in it. Let me open this guy up for you guys. Look at that. That's a nice looking blue. That's the sky blue. Anyway. And then golden violet. What is that? Ooh, golden violet. It's like almost like pink. Is that pink gold? Is that what they call it? Or pink? I don't know. Rose gold, kind of almost. So anyway, guys, that's what we got going on today. One other thing that I want to mention. He also sent out, and I'm going to actually have to switch to the other view. Work area, this one. Okay, so another thing that they're selling, or I'm guessing these are for sale, are these silicone mats. Look at this sucker. Really cool, and it even has some measurements if you need to measure out things or, you know, whatever. So pretty cool. My mats are still in good condition, so I'm not going to swap mine out right now, but I love me. You guys know I love me some silicone mats, so pretty stoked about that. So pretty cool. let's see here. Did the macro colors? Yeah, they fly everywhere. Add enough so that it can be slightly opaque. Okay, that's a good way to go. Sweet. Yeah, kind of like a, well, sort of salmon pink. All right, so now the next thing, I have a lot of intro things here, so I apologize for that, but I think you're gonna wanna see this stuff. Let's see here. So we'll go to the Canon, the overhead view. So last time we did some fluorescent colors, and whoa guys, look at these crazy things. Those are wicked. I felt bad. My mom saw the picture of the brick, and so, you know, whatever the top of the thing looked like, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I just want to buy the whole thing. And I was like, oh, sorry, I already cut them into pen blanks. So I felt kind of bad, so I'll have to make her another thing. She just wanted to hang it on the wall. But really cool. It looks like we got them fairly opaque. Now, once we turn these down into pens, I'm guessing, you know, because if I hold this up to the light, you know, you really can't see through this or anything like that. I just held it up to a light there. But once you turn it down to something pretty thin, I'm guessing that you're going to be able to see through. So you're probably, what I would go with is I would either paint the tube white, it may be good enough to do that, or paint the inside of the blank itself white. I think with these fluorescents, I wouldn't recommend going black, probably, because it's going to make it really dark. White is going to brighten up that color, so the light will hit it and won't just kind of die. It doesn't absorb the light. So I think white is probably the way to go with those for pen blanks. You could even do like a nickel tube, you know, like the chrome looking ones. And I think that might work too. I don't know. I've never really done anything like these before, so I can't tell you exactly. Your best bet is to paint the inside white. That way you won't see the tube or any glue splotches. And then this is the Tequila Sunrise. This thing is wicked. I love this blank. We didn't go overboard with the amount. So, you know, when I hold this up and we put some, let's see if I can get a little light underneath this so you can kind of see. But I think when you turn this thing up, it's going to be really nice. It's going to be a cool handle blank or stoppers or something like that. So I got a little light here. I'm going to hold it underneath. And so you can see, hopefully, might be kind of blowing out. Let's see, let me turn the light down a little bit. See if that helps. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but there's little wisps of smoke kind of in there. So pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with that. And I was even so excited about the Tequila Sunrise that I decided to try and make some pen blanks like that. I actually poured it the wrong. I haven't done this before, and my pen blanks are usually 5 inches long, which I would cut it this way. That's not how I want it to be this way, so I need to figure out how to pour. I need to pour on the short ends, but I'm just going to cut them long. Whoa! I'm going to cut them long, so this is going to be a pen blank, but I went darker. You can probably tell that the pen blank brick is a lot more opaque. But again, once you drill through and then cut and then turn these things down, I think they're going to be a lot more see-through. So I went for a little bit more. I have no clue. This would be something that I'd have to really play with to dial in the amount of dye that you want to put in for a pen blank. But again, even with this one, and I'm probably going to turn one of these myself before I sell them or do anything like that, just to see if they worked out. But again, you're going to want to go for the white, paint the white on the inside of the blank most likely to get the best results. So pretty cool. I'm very stoked about that. And then the one last thing, I know I've been talking forever, but the last thing that I want to mention is on Friday, we are all ready to go. So I built myself a form, all right? And we are it's going to be my shelf that I wanted to put on the wall. So I'm going to do what do they call that? A floating shelf. I have floating shelf hardware from Rockler that I bought. I bought a drill guide thing that should hopefully help me, get the wall holes drilled for these bolts, for the hardware, let's say, and then get things kind of centered on the edge of that. But what we're going to do, I have the wood chunks in the oven. They're pretty big. They're ash chunks. They're triangles. And you probably saw well, I'm not sure if you saw anywhere, but they're kind of like triangular, and so you got to put these really long bolt things to make it a floating shelf where you don't see the hinges. You have to drill in and stick a big, bolt thing inside. So I thought I want wood there. I don't really want to be drilling into the resin and see the hardware stuff. I should be able to get away with two of the hardware things. Hopefully on, like I have 24-inch centers, so that's why this is a 36-inch long shelf. And then you drill into your stud, and so everything holds up just with that hardware. It should be hopefully fairly simple to mount. But then I have like these triangle pieces that are going to go in here, and then the rest is going to be resin. And I think I'm going to go with fluorescent, actually. I was very excited about these fluorescents. And so what I think I'm going to do is we've done that kind of orange and yellow, that tequila sunrise thing. I was looking at this, and I think what I want to do is kind of make it fiery and go with red and orange. Very light, so it's going to be kind of see-through. But that's what I think we're doing on Friday for the Patreon Hangout demo. Obviously, I couldn't do the entire project, let's say, get everything set up and show every step. So basically what I'm going to do is just get everything ready, and then we're going to do the pour for that demo using deep pour. So it should be pretty fun. I'm excited about that. So we got all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure for patrons, don't forget about Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be doing that. And bring your questions. The second half is just a live hangout. So if you have questions about resin casting or turning or whatever, if I can help out, or if you just want to discuss some ideas, bring those thoughts to the hangout part. And if you're not a patron yet and want to get access, head over to patreon.com/nvwoodworks, and you'll get access to the monthly live Q&As and the demos. We always do something kind of fun for the first half as a demo. So anyway, guys, we have all kinds of stuff. Let's see here. Frank Fowler, let's see. Christina, pick something. Christina wants some green. Nice. Me and Jen are the ones that shout for the glitter. Yeah. So we're going to do, let's see. First thing we're going to do is, I think, the glow powder ones. And so let me get things a little bit kind of arranged. Like I said, I'm going to put the interference powders away. I don't need those. And actually, like I said, I'm actually out of Alumilite, or almost going to be. So these things are going to take, I think, more than are in the jug. So I'm going to actually switch to this view. And I think I'm just going to kind of widen this view a little bit. Hopefully that sort of works. I'm going to have to kind of step over that. But I need to fill up my jug. So, another thing, other news, guys. Sorry that I'm not prepared. I totally forgot that I needed to add some resin, and I'm almost out of clear slow again. It's getting low, but I got it on order, and I got some Alumilite white on order, guys. They have some, not a lot, I guess. That's what I hear, but I got a 10-gallon kit of Alumilite white on the way. I am out of, I want to say, 1 or 2 pen blanks that are in the team colors. So if you're, I know for sure I'm out of the Bulls colors, the red, black, and white. And so those are going to be, it's going to be a little while before I'm going to have those in. But at least it's not up in the air at this point. So I have a little bit more information about why there's this shortage or whatever. I didn't, like I said, it's been like months, honestly. And I kind of forgot what exactly they said, and I didn't get a full story. So what happened was that cold snap in Texas, what happened was the petroleum refineries, they all got like messed up, basically. The power went out. And, resins are petroleum based. So what happened was all the resins, and it affects epoxy and urethane, all the resins, and this isn't just an Alumilite thing, I just want to make sure everybody knows, all the resin, manufacturing got kind of screwed up. And so it's all on like back order and stuff. And I guess, like, I was talking to Carol today, and she's like, yeah, people from other resin companies are coming to Alumilite now and, trying to get find whoever has resin and buy it. And so one of the nice things is for like the big jugs, Alumilite is not, they're saving it, and like management has to okay large, you know, like the 80-pound kits of slow, or even the white. They are, whoop, might help to, they are, management has to okay those sales because they don't want to be selling resin to these people that are coming from other brands. They want to sell it to their long-term customers that need it. So, which I thought was really kind of thoughtful and nice. You know, they're not just like, okay, we'll sell it to you. So if you need to get big quantities from Alumilite, you're gonna have to call in most likely and get things kind of checked off. But you got to call in anyway, I guess, for their big ones. But there should be some white in stock now for anybody that uses that. And I don't know, I think they just call it amazing casting resin now. I don't know. It's always been Alumilite white to me. But I'm excited that hopefully I'll have some on the way now. There's good news. But with that, because of the supply and demand issues, that price did increase. And again, they're still saying that should be a short-term thing. That is not, they don't, according to Carol, that is not supposed to be a long-term thing. But the price is up a little bit. I think I want to say it was like up 7% on resins. So, and I don't, again, this isn't just Alumilite that's affected by this. So I'm guessing that everybody in the industry, everybody's prices are up, most likely, or they are going up. B is always a little bit slower because it's thick. It's a little bit thicker than the Part A. So, very exciting. Sorry, I can't see the chat either from over here, but is there anything else that's new and exciting? I don't think so. Well, one other thing that I'm getting from them, I asked Carol if she'd send out a sample of the quick, what do they call that? Quick coat. The like faster setting epoxy that they kind of are marketing towards tumbler, people, for like putting a clear coat on top of things. So I want to kind of test that out and compare it to Amazing Clear Cast Plus, which has like a, your 45-minute working time, because I've kind of liked that for using as a clear coat on projects. And I even told Carol that I don't know. I haven't used the quick coat yet, and that's the whole point of me, testing it out. But I kind of like the 45-minute working time. I set up that slow turning motor thing, and there are some advantages on top of the fact that you're getting with the ACC Plus, you're getting the UV protection. So I don't know. Personally, I'm kind of on board with ACC Plus rather than quick coat. But I'll give it a try and see, because it may work better, possibly. Definitely works faster. We know that for sure. Okay, so we got resin now, guys. Let's get this camera back where it's supposed to be. Pretty good. All right. Woo-wee! Yeah, man. Manufacturing and supply chain across the entire planet is in disarray right now. So, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm having problems with all kinds of random stuff too. I just bought some gym equipment that, like, you have to be on the website ready to check out when they get stuff in stock right now, and it's kind of a pain. So. First things first, we're going to do the glow powders, and I'm a big fan of these colorful ones, so we'll play with those, but we can add other things in. One thing I haven't really done a lot is, tried to mix color with, glow powder, or I haven't done a lot of that. Now, one thing that I do want to mention right off the top of the, right off the bat, this stuff is way heavier, okay? I'm going to put this on the scale, zero it out. I'm going to, I don't know, these aren't necessarily weighed or even, but this little jar is 85 grams, all right? And that's about the same, I would say, as most of these mica powders. It's about the same amount in there. So let me put this on here on the scale, 37.8, all right? 37.8 compared to 85.5. All right, so we're talking more than twice as heavy, if I did my math right. So that tells you that these are gonna sink in your resin, all right? So you have to kind of think about that a little bit and kind of prepare. So again, one of these things where you gotta wait till the end for sure. And even with that, it's gonna kind of sink to the bottom a little bit in these things. So just be aware of that. So let's see here. What else do we have here? Shelf life on an 80 gallon, it's not 80 gallons, it's 80 pounds. That's 10 gallons about. Okay, you said that. So the shelf life, I don't know, they say like 4 months, 4 to 6 months. Realistically, it just depends. If it's in, you know, if it's room temperature, not super hot or cold, and I would say fluctuating temperatures are actually the worse. You don't want to be subjecting it to freezing cold and then 85 degrees, like with a heater or something like that. That's going to actually make it go bad quicker. And another thing is exposing it to the air. So if it's kind of sat out and you leave the cap off or something like that for longer periods of time than just, you know, opening it to pour and then closing it, those things are going to make it go bad quicker. So as long as you've done everything you can to, you know, the best case scenario, I mean, realistically, you should get probably even more than 6 months out of this stuff. The only thing is all you got to do is just mix up some part A and part B. If everything cures properly, it's not turning yellow, it's not jelly, it's not doing something odd, then it's fine. You know, so realistically, it's good as long as it still, you know, works. Connie's on the hunt for the best glue. I don't know, these things look pretty good, I'll tell you right now. So do you guys have any thoughts on how we can get crazy with these things and add something to the glow? Like I said, I really didn't, I was running around doing stuff and on the phone up until 10 minutes maybe before the stream today, and I just didn't get everything going here. So hey, Jake's here. What's up, buddy? Glitter is awesome. Nice. I can't wait to try this mold out. 10 blanks in one shot. This is going to be awesome. So I got my thing. I really need to get this thing mounted on something. This is another problem. I have everything else mounted right. What I want to do is add a little shelf on this. Can you see on this where these things are mounted? So I'm not using this. This is my little step stool and seat bench. It's actually a saw bench, is what it's technically for, but I use it just as a seat and a step stool, and I don't like having it used up. So do you guys want to try just mixing some mica colors in with the glow? Because that's kind of cool. We could even try some of these, actually interference powder. That actually might be kind of cool with these guys. I don't know. Oh man, so yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, I didn't really show. These things are awesome. The little platforms. So number one, 4 screws, it's ready to go. It's just a flat piece and it ships flat, so which is nice. But the beauty of these things is because it's silicone, I mean, it's not gonna, I can take these straps completely off. It is not gonna fall off. Like it takes, you gotta put it like way high. It kind of sticks to the the HDPE. So it's really not like it's like slippery or moving around on you. You know, compared to, you guys probably know, you know, if you put a piece of HDPE on this thing, flopping all over the place, right? So, which, you know, you're probably not going to use exactly this type of thing, but these things work fabulous. I'm really, you know, most of you guys probably saw these being made on Jake's channel, and you know, I did too. I saw them and I'm like, oh, those are cool. But when you actually see them in person, I'm like, yeah, these are nice. So let's see here. Mix the green glow with the sky blue. Metallic to the glow. That's cool. So just to let you guys know, Casey's going to be playing and he's going to be putting lots of videos up, messing around with these things. So obviously, you know, the mad scientist has all of his stuff also, and he's obviously wants to market and sell this stuff. So he's going to be putting out lots of videos playing around with stuff. I think some are already up on his channel, but I'm thinking, let's see here. So why don't we, so this is, I got to think a little bit about this. Let's see here. I'm going to add some interference violet in the mix. We're going to try interference violet. And so I got 10 pen blanks. And I think what we're going to do is try to kind of split this. Actually, Jake, I got a question for you that will hopefully save me some time. How much, do you know how much resin these molds, well, the 10 individual pen blank ones hold? So I don't have to go through all the calculations and probably screw it up. New math, you know, I'm not very good at that. So I also want to try some, let's try one of these white hollows in there. I don't know, so we'll and it's not all going to be the same exact thing. What I'm going to try and do is kind of split it into zones. I'm going to mix up a few different cups, you know, add our stuff in each, you know, different one, and then just kind of pour in different zones. So hopefully we can get some, you know, glow powder in all of them. And then we'll just kind of pour a little bit of this and a little bit of that all over the place. But it'll be pretty cool. I mean, it'll be just like the, you know, when I do the graffiti or something like that, we're just going to pour it all over the place and see what happens. Benny, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm glad that I could help out with that. That's cool. Transparent color. Oh, nice. Possibilities. All right. So a metallic color. Let's see here. One thing I do want to actually try out is, I am super bummed. So supposedly, I guess Alumilite is they discontinued the Alumidust, all of it, which makes me angry. They still have the metallics, but all of the Alumidust ones, which my favorite gold has been just their Alumidust gold, and it's just tough because I know exactly what I'm going to get with that one, and I'm sure that there's another one out there. So I'm going to try the gold. Let's see here, where is it? So there's royal gold, which that looks a lot like, actually. It's a little darker. But let's try the royal gold and see how that looks. I'm going to open this guy up. Yeah, it's a little bit more like the, kind of like antique gold, I think is what it was called. What's that called? What the heck is it? Yeah, a little bit more like antique gold. Let's try the gold out. There's a metallic. And then Christina wants, let's see, so what are we doing next? Christina wanted blue. So let's go with the blue glow. Is that right? Christina wanted blue, I think. I have no clue where that went. I'm scrolling up. Totally into green, sorry. Green. Green and stuff that sparkles. Okay, so let's go with the green one of the glow powders. I'm going to switch over to the overhead view right here. That is some serious green right there. It ain't easy being green. We got some crazy colors going on here. Okay, so let's switch out. I don't think I want blue, or I don't know about this gold with the green. Let's go with like a silver. Let's go with pewter, which, so this is going to be a total killer. The pewter, the Yakinum is going to be discontinued, which that really, really makes me mad. Oh well. So I like silver and green. Let's do that. And we got some interference violet. We got some white, blue, hollow. This stuff is pretty cool. It's like glitter, I would say, a little bit more. Look at how sparkly. So we got some sparkly. We got some green. We got some metallic. We got interference violet. And let's go with, I liked this sky blue quite a bit. I want to look at this. Here's the ocean blue. That's a nice color. Blue is Casey's favorite color, by the way, just to let you guys know. Ooh, some of these interesting. Pinot red. That one's sounding pretty good. One thing I'm a little disappointed with, there is no Ooh, I like that. Let's go for some of that with the green. Pinot red. One thing that I think you need to add is another red that is, what is my favorite wine? Not Merlot. Zinfandel, or let's see, I'm trying to think. Red glow. Okay, so I think we're gonna go. Let's go with two. Let's go with the blue one too. So we got 2 glows. This is gonna take a little bit of magic for me to get all this mixed up in time, but I think we can do it. So, and that way we'll have a couple different glow colors to try out. And at the end, you know what? I was looking all over my pressure pots, and I don't think that I actually have a Northside Custom Crafts sticker, or I couldn't find it. So we're going to put another one on because Jake sent some stickers out. Actually, I need to get a shirt. I'm going to buy a shirt. Are the shirts available on your website, Jake? Do you have shirts available? I need to get shirts from people. I always need new shirts for the shop. So, all right. So are we? Yeah, Zinfandel. Can be like a super dark one. I don't know. This Pinot red is really it's a rich color. I like that one quite a bit. All right, so let's see. Did Jake tell me how much resin? That's what I need to know. 804 grams. Look at that. It's a good thing that I filled my jugs up. Oh, 804. 104. Okay, so let's see. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. Because that's a lot, I actually don't want to mix that all in one gigantic bucket, because it's going to, you know, if you mix up a larger mass like that, it's going to kind of heat up a little bit quicker. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of break that. So we have 2, 4, 6. And I want to be a little heavier. We want more of the glow powder because that's kind of what I'm really focused on. And these things are just going to be like additives, right? So we are going to take 804. Yeah, 804. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. 804. 804. So we're going to put like half of it. 50% is going to go to these two. All right, so divide that by 2. So 402. And then 201 for each one. So we got green glow, blue glow, okay. And then we got 402 grams left for 4 colors. So we got 100 and, I don't know, around 100 grams for each one of these guys, all right? And so we'll just kind of see. That might be a little bit glow heavy. We'll see. I don't know. That might be a little bit too much glow, but I think it'll be all right. So what I want to do is try and divide this. I don't want to pour everything all into one, you know, in each one of these slots. So we're going to kind of divide it up into zones where we're going to kind of add a little bit here, a little bit there, and everything should be pretty sweet overall. Okay? So we have Pinot red. And I'm going to load these guys up, all right? So for 100 grams, we're going to put a half teaspoon in. That should be like good. Interference violet. That's not necessarily, it's going to be a little bit on the creamier side, but we're going to put, I don't know, let's try a half teaspoon, see where it's at. And then we got white, blue, hollow. This is really just glitter, all right? So we'll have to kind of see how that looks. It'll be kind of interesting. You could add dye to this, most likely. You could probably even add micas or different stuff in the same cup and kind of, you know, mess around with it. So there's lots of different things we can do. White, let's see, what is it called? White, blue, hollow. So let's add like, I don't know. I'm going to add like a teaspoon. Let's put a ton of that glitter stuff in there. And then we're going to go with a little bit of pewter for the silver, because like I said, I could go with the gold, but I think that silver color is going to go a little bit better. So we'll do a half teaspoon of that. All right, so we have the plan laid out, guys. We have a plan. So I am going to, we're going to get a cup each for each of these. So 200 grams and 200 grams, so it's going to be 100 times 2, basically. Part A and Part B, 100 grams of each for that. And that's a fairly small amount. Now, it's not like we're going to have like some extended period of time to get this done. I'm going to have to be moving on this. And there, on one hand, you could say, well, if you just mixed it all up in one bucket, then it would maybe go quicker. But this is generally the way that I do these types of things. And then these hundreds, I think what I'm going to do with these is, let's see, I think what I'm going to do is 400. I think I'm going to mix the 400 grams in at once. All right, so I'm going to just kind of go with, 200 and 200 in a larger cup and then split it off into smaller cups. Okay, 1, 2, 3 more small cups. So this should be pretty exciting. I will say that it's definitely a lot easier to just go for like a couple colors when you're doing 800 grams. So just a little disclaimer. The more colors and things that are going on, the more difficult it is. So if you're a beginner, like if you've never done this before, I would not recommend starting out with a 5-6 color pour. Because there's a lot of moving parts. You're just not used to how things work and what the steps are. You don't really have that kind of muscle memory where, you're just on autopilot getting everything ready and doing it. Get a little bit of experience doing, 1 or 2, maybe 3 colors at the most. I would probably just start out with just 1 color just to kind of do simple projects. That's what I always recommend. That way you don't mess things up. You're a little bit more focused on getting things right with the measuring, the mixing and all that stuff, the pouring, having everything ready in front of you. And so, yeah, it may be a little bit boring for a few castings, but you're going to make something, right? You're not going to end with failure. And that's the worst. You don't want that. Ending with failure is no fun. Jamie Page, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And thanks for joining the fun, too. So I got to switch. That way you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to start with this small one. We're going to add, let's see. So this is one of the glow powders. So it's 200 grams total. So we're going to put 100 grams of Part A. And another thing that will help when you're doing, lots of this stuff, where you got lots of cups that you got to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Part A to each one first. I'm not going to add Part A and then Part B, because the minute that the Part B touches the Part A, even if you haven't really stirred it up, the clock starts ticking, right? All right, so we're going to add all the Part A in. Another thing that you could do, I'm going to probably wait on the glow powders, but I already know how much of this powder I want to put in. So here's just an interesting way to take out some of the discomfort, let's say, the hurrying that's going to have to go on. I want to put, let's see, Pinot Red, we're putting a half teaspoon in. All right, so this is a 1/4 teaspoon. All right, so we got our half teaspoon. I don't have to think about that anymore. I can do this, at a leisurely pace, wipe my spoon off. I'm not, oh my gosh, I'm not, worried. None of that stuff's going on in my head. We got pewter. That's another half teaspoon. So 2 scoops, just like Raisin Bran. Okay, and then I can wipe my spoon. No big deal. Let's just put this away because we just pulled this out because I wanted some silver, and that's a good one. Interference violet. I think we were going to do a half. Let's see what we're going to do. Yeah, half teaspoon of this. Uh-oh, I heard it. Richard, what's up? I think I saw it. Was that you? somebody said they bought my book. Was that you, Richard? If you bought the book and super chatted, that's, man, you're going above and beyond. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the book. Hopefully it was you. I think it was you. Hopefully you enjoy that beginner's guide. And just to let people know, I'm also working on a video that's going to be kind of like the same idea. It'll be a little bit more in depth. I can show stuff better, obviously. And so, I don't know. I've been working on it for months now. But hopefully, and I'm going to wait because the last cup is going to, I don't want to put the stuff in because I need it clear so I can dump off. So I'm going to wait to put this stuff in. We were just going to put a teaspoon of it in. And then this stuff, I'm just going to leave that spoon there. We're going to grab the half teaspoon. So this stuff will be ready when I am, right? So back to our cup here. We have, it was you. Thanks. I appreciate it. We got 84 grams. We need 100. Let's sneak up to 100 here. 97.8. 99. We got 100. And again, I didn't add any part B. I want to add our part A to each one of these things. So another 100 grams of part A. And it really doesn't matter if you put part A or part B in there first. That's irrelevant, kind of. $95, $97. Wacky Works is here too. What's up? There's so many people. All right, sorry, I was looking. 99.6. 100. Boom. Then we need 200 in this one. And I'm mixing up for the 4 colors that we're doing, right? That's what this one is going to be. I'm going to mix it all. This is reasonable. And then I'll dump it off into, we want 100 grams total in each one of these, and then I'll just leave whatever's left, 100 grams in the bottom of that. So 200. $183. 193. 197. 200 on the dot. 0.0. That was pretty good. Okay, so now is when, and what I like to do, if I got one cup that's bigger than the others, there's more resin in it, I'm going to mix that last, right? Because it will technically, in theory, the more volume is going to like heat up quicker. So I'm going to go with these smaller ones first. And what in my mind, I don't know if this isn't scientific or data. There's no data behind it, but what I'm trying to do is get the temperature to kind of meet up. If I'm mixing up a bunch of cups, then I'm going to mix up the A and B in the smallest one and go progressively up. And in theory, that should hopefully bring that, the temperature closer, how it goes. Now, I am going to be dumping these things out, so this isn't a perfect example, but I just wanted to kind of, this is generally how I would do it. Largest one last. So zeroed that out. We need 100 grams of part B. Part B nozzle is kind of clogged a little bit. That's not fun. 85. One. 4. Number 1 fan. I love the little pear guy. That guy's fun. I just saw this little super chat thing in my window. All right, 99. Gosh, I'm sneaking up on this. All right, 100 grams. We need 100 in this one. And again, these 200, the 200 cups, these are going to be our glow powders. We want to have a little bit more of that stuff because that's kind of the focus here. There we go, 97, a little closer off the bat that time. 99, that should be there. And I'm not mixing it either, you might notice that. I'm adding the part B. Like I said, when the B touches the A, when the two parts touch, you know, the clock kind of starts clicking or ticking. But when you mix it, then it really starts going. It's a little bit, you have even less time. And so I don't even start mixing until I got everything filled. And this is just the way that I do it. There's lots of different ways. You know, a lot of people might say, why wouldn't you just mix it all at once? Probably going to be just as easy, but you know, this is just the way that I do things. And it works okay for me. So we need 200 grams of part B in here. 173, 186. The weather's been really nice around here. I think we're going to go for a hike tomorrow. 199.3. Get there. A little bit more. Okay. So we got a stick, and slightly bigger stick. So I'm going to move these up front so I'm not spilling things all over the place. You guys still see? Sort of. Let me move this thing up. Kind of see better. All right, so we're going to mix this, and I'm going to go kind of quick on this. But you never want to rush, right? You know, and you don't want to cheat your mixing up. Don't cheat it. But also keep in mind that I'm going to be mixing in some glow powder. So even if I didn't get everything mixed totally properly on this first round, we're going to have more time, right? So I'm going to move that back. That's good enough. These are the glow powders. I'm going to do a little bit more. I want to get the first time, I want to get the bigger cup that I'm going to be dumping off. You know, I would much rather get that mostly mixed on the first try because I'm going to be dumping it off. And if you had a big glob of part A and then poured that into this one, your ratio could get thrown off. So, you know, always try to mix it up as good as possible. But if you're not going to be dumping anything off, you're just adding more stuff that you're going to mix, then you can kind of be a little bit more lackadaisical on it on the first round, knowing you're going to be putting more time into the stirring. Always scrape the bottom, the sides of the cup very well so that nothing's that's, you know, you don't want any part B that's kind of like stuck on the side of it, or part A or whatever it may be, or the bottom. You want to get all those part A's and part B's mixed together. One big happy family. Texas size pour, yeah. Okay, I think that's probably good. I'm going to zero this one out. We need 100 grams in each one of these little cups. Kind of moving quick here, I'm not going to lie. Doesn't have to be perfect, really, or anything like that, but I mean, since I wrote down a number, may as well try to get in the ballpark there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now we need to add a teaspoon. So this is a half teaspoon right here. So we're going to do 2 scoops again of this stuff. Let's see what it looks like with one. So this was the, obviously, green. Yeah, we definitely want 2. Ooh, look at that. Pretty. I think it's the green one. Should be. Well, it says blue hollow, but that sure does look kind of green to me. I don't know what's going on. Might have been mislabeled. Put another half teaspoon. So we got our full teaspoon in here. Look at that. Ooh. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, we're gonna put that to the side. Let's get some stir sticks into these guys. While we're here, I'm just gonna mix these guys up, and then we'll add our glow into those other two. How much glow? So let's start out with a 1/4 teaspoon. I think we're gonna need at least a half. Maybe even a little bit more. You put too much in, they get really abrasive when you're cutting and turning them. So there's kind of like, it's tough with glow powders. They're going to be a little bit more abrasive when you're turning, so you might have to, if you're using high-speed steel, you're probably going to have to sharpen a little bit more often. Carbide will handle it a lot better. Probably won't need to change your cutter out or anything like that for like pen blanks or something relatively small. Okay, we got our pewter. Pinot red. Oh man, look at that. What do you think of that Pinot red? Oh, that is a nice looking red. Okay. Let's open up our blue. I'm moving kind of quick, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing it. Okay. Let's just go for, let's go for the half teaspoon, or quarter teaspoon first. Do you see that stuff? It's way heavy. It just sinks like a rock. So we're doing pen blanks, right, guys? And so don't rely on how it looks in the cup. This is a big, thick mass of resin here. What we're looking for is we want it to look good, you know, look somewhat opaque, right? For pen blanks, because we're going to drill out the inside and then turn it down to a super small piece of resin, the way that I do it is I'm going to pull some out on a stick. Now this is totally see-through, all right? So we need more. Another quarter, so we're at a half teaspoon. White, blue, green hollow, I see, yeah. No worries, it looks good either way. Yeah, it is kind of a blue-green, I guess I would call it that. Totally see-through still, let's see. Does this stuff ever get opaque? Will it be fruitless for me to add like 2 teaspoons of this stuff? Another thing is, and so, you know, being kind of under the gun here with having to move quick, glow powders can be kind of clumpy also. Like it may be kind of hard to get it, or take longer, let's just say, you know, to get everything mixed in without any little clumps. Yeah, it's pretty much, I don't know if we're ever going to get there to a super opaqueness. I'm going to move over to the green just to get that going while I wait. Not super opaque. All right. So let's go with the green. I'm moving to the half teaspoon, and we're just going to put a full teaspoon in. I just want to make sure, because these things I can feel them warming up a little bit, and let's just see what we can do here. So this is a full teaspoon. This was a half. And I know that they're different colors. That could change things too. May not be exactly the same. Yeah, still pretty see-through. I'm gonna go for, let's just go for 2 teaspoons and see what happens here. Now, one other thing is, if you add a ton of glow powder, it's probably gonna be even heavier, right? So when I pour this would probably kind of sink below even the blue glow powder one, even though you know, they're both glow powder and kind of are going to sink. So we're going to have to kind of wait a little bit longer than I would normally wait anyway, which is good since we don't have a whole lot of time. We got a complex pour going on right now. And even, you know, I don't know if you can wait long enough to get, like, you know, most likely, I've never really, no glow powder I've ever used. 'Cause, you know, it's, they're both glow powder and kind of are going to sink. So we're going to have to kind of wait a little bit longer than I would normally wait anyway, which is good since we don't have a whole lot of time. We got a complex pour going on right now. And even, you know, I don't know if you can wait long enough to get, like, you know, most likely, I've never really, no glow powder I've ever used. That's not too bad. So let's go for another teaspoon in this blue. It's a little bit more opaque after the 2 teaspoons. Let's see what we get with the blue. Let's see where we're at temperature-wise. That'll be interesting. Ooh, 103 already, guys. Under the gun. I'm sweating. I'm sweating bullets, guys. I'm probably going to pour this. Well, if I was going to write it down, pre-plan when I was going to pour this stuff. So that's a little bit more opaque. I don't think that, I think there's kind of a point of, you know, limited returns on how much, you know, you want to pour of this stuff in there. That's not the right terminology, but you get the point. Let's see where we're at with all these. Where's my gun? 100. We mixed up those glow powder ones first, so remember that. So about 100. Yeah, I'm just going to give these all one last little stir here. And in this case, frankly, I would rather have the glow powder be a little bit warmer when I pour it than the other stuff. But you don't want to wait too long, otherwise it won't really pour together. So, I know, it's confusing and crazy, but you'll kind of get the hang of some of these things once you've done a few of them. All right, so where are we at temperature-wise? 111. I don't know if I said, I would probably, if I was going to pre-plan, I would maybe go around 115, 120. This one's at 108. So this was the first one that we mixed up. All right, so let's get our mold out. Let's get it ready on the rack. Rack them up. All right, so let me kind of get these things out of the way. Here's our rack. Look at this. This thing is awesome. Big thank you again to Jake for sending this out. Both of them. He surprised me too. I opened the box and I was like, dang, this is a really big box. He said he was going to send me a mold. And then there's 2 of them in there. And he's like, I just sent both. Because Jake's awesome. This green's looking pretty. This is actually pretty opaque. Let's see. Let's look at the blue again. Yeah, these are pretty, you know, 2 teaspoons for, there's 200 grams in here. So like a teaspoon per 100 maybe. That's not, I think you're in the ballpark at that point. All right, so let's see here. How do I want to do this? I want to pour a little bit of blue in there. I'm going to pour, whoa, I almost dumped that. I'm going to pour a little bit of green in this one. A little bit more blue in there. And then at this point, I'm just going to have at it. We're just going to go for boom. All right, we're going to mix it up. And then I'm going to kind of do like, you know, so we got like 3 here with a little bit of that silver. Let's do a little bit of 2 here with the interference. Do a little bit of red in the middle. We'll add a little bit of this this stuff, the whatever this was, the blue-green holographic. Let's just try and fill. Let's go for just a solid blank. I'm kind of curious how that works, so that we can kind of get an idea, you know. Hopefully, I have enough resin left over. And then I'm just going to keep pouring. And this is where we're hopefully going to get a little bit of that kind of swirl action. I'm going to save a little bit more. Got our silver here. And I think I'm going to actually, this one in the middle here, we're just going to add a little bit of silver. We're going to add a little bit of interference. We're going to do everything. And then a little bit of this red. And then a little bit of green. Now, the problem that I might run into is I haven't really been necessarily doing these equal, you know. So there may be a little bit of a flaw in my plan, just to let you guys know. Okay, so we're done with the green. Add a little bit more of this. We may end up having to kind of dump all of it into kind of like one of them, but we'll see. We'll see how we get. A little bit more red in this middle one. It's getting pretty thick. Silver, I think I actually did fairly well. Now, if you wanted, you could mix this up a little bit more. These ones look a little bit low on the end. Go for a little bit more interference in the middle. Getting pretty thick. I would probably recommend the better way to do this is to kind of do, you know, try a couple colors out at one at a time instead of like 50,000 different things going on. But, you know. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to put a little bit of red down here because these guys look a little bit low. That's really thick. Woo! Pop this guy off too. I think we did pretty close. Hopefully they're somewhat close to 3/4. So now all you do is you just go boom. And let me get my lid off my pressure pot. So look down in the bottom corner while I put this in. And one thing to let you guys know, I did test to see, to make sure that this thing's gonna fit in my pressure pot. Always do that with a brand new mold. Don't just assume everything's gonna go perfectly well once you have resin in your mold. Because that's when things don't go perfectly smooth. Make sure that it's, and it's not even so much just the dimensions. Another thing that you need to really think about, and I would recommend the first time out, do a full dry run. You know, act like you've poured your resin in it or whatever, and then literally pick it up the way you were going to do it and put it in your pressure pot so that you know for sure that everything will work, that you can get your hands in there. You know, I've had molds that I know the dimensions will fit, but my hands wouldn't fit around it. So I couldn't get it in there without like just dropping it. So trust me, I've messed up in every possible way. All right, so we got something going. So I think most of those, like I said, should be about thick enough for pen blanks. If I got some that are kind of undersized, I might have to just throw a bunch of them together and do a giveaway or something like that. But this thing up to 70 PSI. And there we have it. Woo! So what do you guys think? That was pretty nuts. 50,000 things going on. I know those were pretty fun. So I can't wait to see how those things turn out. Again, hopefully that we didn't get, you know, what I'm hoping is that the glow powder doesn't all just sink to the bottom, because in the past that tends to happen. And that's where, like, sometimes you got to kind of take like, well, you know, the more glow powder you put in there, the more glow you're going to get as well, right? So you got to balance, you know, that weight issue, the glowing issue, and, you know, how it looks basically at the end. So sometimes it's kind of hard, you know, especially, you know, I asked Casey, like, how much should I put in? And he's kind of like, well, I don't know. You know, it depends is kind of the answer a lot of times. Depends on what you're actually trying to accomplish sometimes and how things will work. And so I haven't done a whole lot of playing around with glow and micas and all that kind of stuff in the past necessarily. But, you know, I like his answer of, you know, just keep adding it until it starts to get opaque, especially with the ones that are colorful. That's maybe also going to change the way things work, because the ones that are just white, they end up looking kind of milky. It's kind of similar. I would say actually a little bit more just kind of milky looking, but kind of similar to how the interference powders look. You know, if you just throw that in there, it's just kind of this milky white kind of look to it. But with glow powders, it's even more dull, I would say, with the white ones. So I usually add, like, if I was doing blue, where is that? I don't know. He's got like a blue glow powder that's white normal. I usually add do I have it up here? Can't find it. Well, I usually add the ocean blue dye from Alumilite to the blue glow powder, and then I usually go for the fluorescent green if I'm doing the blue one. All right, fluorescent green if I'm doing the green glow powder. That's the white. Let me find that stuff. Where is it? Here it is. Let's go over to the overhead here. All right, so just to give you an idea, so this stuff is just kind of milky. This is the green, right? And it says white, green glow. And then there's also white, blue glow. All right, and they look exactly the same. It just looks kind of like like a pearl powder or something like that. In the final blanks during the day, it's just going to be this kind of milky white, thing. So totally different from, red glow powder, So I usually add a little bit of color, a dye color to one of these, just so it looks decent during the day. Lots of different things you can do. Oh yeah, actually, I got a few links. I totally forgot, guys. Hold on a minute. So for anybody that's not already subscribed to Jake's channel, you're going to want to. If you like my channel, you're going to love Jake's channel. And the same goes for Casey. I mean, really, if you like my content, you're going to love his content as well, because he's got exactly the same stuff. Different, though. And then, yeah, here's a link, direct link to the winecountrymica.com. Wine Country Mica. So big thank you to Casey for sending out the micas for us to play with. So this next one, let me switch to the hello, look at my face cam. This next one, what I want to do is I want to play with the macro pearls, the macro hollow kind of color shift things. Those are really cool. Let me go right back, to this one. Okay, so we already did like a white holographic. We did the white blue hollow. So macro. I love the macro. Okay, so, I just stuck it in the resin. I hate that. Now my fingers are sticky. I don't like sticky fingers. You guys? Anybody like sticky fingers out there? I don't. I need to get this cleaned up so that I can show you guys what's going on with these things without getting sticky fingers. So one thing you do not want to do is use acetone on the bottom of these little jars. If you did get a little bit of sticky going on, use denatured alcohol instead, and it won't melt the package. Okay. Hopefully I won't be sticky anymore. So macro green color shift. Look at that. It's like the macro pearl with green color shift powder in it. Okay, so we got macro red. Ooh. So it's almost like it's like macro, or, like macro pearl with like interference powder. That's kind of how it feels to me. This one's the violet color shift. All right, so what are we going to do on this one? So we got Jamie and we also have Richard. So which two of these do you want to see? We got red, violet, blue, and green. I know the macros. We were talking about it on the podcast and before we were, when we were doing all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait to mess with those. And what I want to do is I want to try some of these colors out with them. All right. So it's not just about these totally. I want to try some other colors. So Chardonnay green, this one is looking like I totally think we need to do some Chardonnay green with green macro. That would be sweet. Or the violet with it. You got bright yellow, sky blue. I'm telling you, sky blue is a good one. Or maybe this golden violet. That would be sweet. Rosé. Yeah, I'm going to kind of separate the ones that are kind of standard, I would say. We already did Pinot Red. I really like that. White, blue, hollow. We already did that one. White hollow. Golden Syrah. Ooh. Rosé. Bright yellow. Kind of standard. A little bit different than I've seen, but let's do these ones. All right. So let's see. Violet. We're doing macro violet color shift. Oops. Don't spill all the little macros. And let's see. Richard. Hopefully Richard's still here. I don't know if I can tell. Is there any way to tell if Richard's still here? Yeah, there he is. He picked violet too. He picked Olay. So we already got violet. We can do blue, we could do red, or if you want, you can pick one of these colors. I've kind of narrowed them down. So we have all those little macros. It's basically blue. We got blue, red, and green left. Make sure I don't spill any of these things. So we got golden Syrah and rosé, golden violet, Chardonnay green, and sky blue. Red. Okay, so I think he's talking about red color shift. So let's see here. I think since those are the last super chats, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go with golden violet to mix with the macro violet. And we're going to go with, let's see, a little bit of red. So I think we'll go with the golden Syrah and mix that with the red. All right, so let's move these guys out of the way. We got one more to do. We're going to do a 6-pen blank mold. It's been in the oven. It's actually quite hot. I need to turn my temperature gauge down just a little bit. This thing fluctuates. Like, you set it and then it changes. I love cheap toasters. They're so fun. So go to this view so you can see what I'm up to. All right. So this one's going to be fairly simple. In this case, so we still have, we don't need rosé. We still have 4 colors, but I'm going to mix it all in one bucket, all up at once, and then we're going to dump off, the colors. So, and the way that I'm going to do this, I think the way that I'm going to do this. So first off, let me write down my notes here. You guys kind of see what I'm doing. So that mold, it's a 5x6. To get about a 1-inch deep pour, I'm going to put about 550 grams in there. And then we're going to do 4 colors, and frankly, I think we're just going to split these in 4. So let's see, or somewhere about. All right, so what we're going to do is 140 times 4, which is actually going to put me at about 160. That's fine, though. No biggie. So 560 divided. So 280 times 2 for the big bucket. Then we're going to dump it off into 4 colors. Number 1, we're going to do macro red. We're going to do macro violet. We're going to do golden Syrah. And we're going to do, what's the other one? Golden violet. We're doing the goldens. All right, so the way that I'm thinking that I'm going to try to pour this is, remember how we did the tequila sunrise? All right, remember this guy? So we poured the 2 colors at once. Now I know we have 4 colors here, but I think what I'm going to do is we're going to pour the macro first. We're going to pour the 2 macros, and you know, you could even add probably the mica in with this, and it would do something totally different. I think I want to just try something out though. So what we're going to do is we got our mica colors here. We got our macros here. So I'm going to pour both the macros. I'm going to mix it up in the cup, and then I'm going to pour the 2 into the mold first. And then I'm going to take these 2 cups and we're just going to go kind of crazy with it on top of it. So we're going to have it kind of split, and then I'll just have to kind of, you know, I want to try to mostly mix the golden violet with our violet macro, right? So however I'm holding it, I want to pour the violets kind of on the same side. So we'll see how it works. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways that you can pour and do all this kind of stuff. So each one's going to be 140. So 70. I think I can get away with the small cups again. Get some more of those guys. Yeah. In fact, I need to restock anyway, so I'm just going to pull more than I need out for this. All right. So we have 3 small cups. I'm going to go get a big cup. All right. So I guess you can't really see. Let me move. I didn't really set my camera up that I really wanted to. Hold on 1 second, guys. There we go. That's looking a little better. So you can kind of see the mixing bucket a little bit. I know you can see it on the other camera, but. All right, so zeroing this out, let's see. Another thing that can help you guys, if you need to, you could write on here, you know, golden Syrah, and, you know, I want to put 140 grams total in there. So, you know, pull out a Sharpie if you need to. Now, I don't necessarily need to do this, but, you know, it can help. And then this one's golden violet, 140 grams. I know that they're all going to be the same, but just to kind of illustrate, you know, right on there, and that way, you know, try to eliminate errors from happening. That's kind of the point of that. All right, so I'm going to move these. One thing that I need to do is I'm going to be using these 2 cups as my macros. All right, so we're going to pour those in first, and I want to have these things ready. I think I am actually going to take my own advice. I'm going to put violet on here, and I kind of want to have these things lined up. I want to know what I'm doing. I want to keep these things kind of in order, because the 2 violets I want on the same side when I'm pouring. Okay, so that's just kind of what I got these 2 ready in my head, and they're kind of laid out the way that I want them. So we're zeroing the scale out, and we need 280 grams of part A. One thing that I want to mention, so we just did an 804 gram or so pour. So just to kind of illustrate, I already used that word once in like the last 2 minutes, but just to kind of show you. So this brick that I'm making is a 5x6, and I get 6 pen blanks out of it, right? But I'm pouring 560 grams. So per pen blank, so 560 divided by 6, that's 93 per pen blank times 10. You know, technically the way that I'm doing this with these bricks, it's 933 grams is how I'm going to have to do that. But with that other mold, with, 800 grams, you can get 10 pen blanks. So you're saving 130 grams of resin. Now, I think what happened was I probably should have added a little bit more. Some of those are going to be kind of short that I poured. And it wasn't because the numbers were wrong. The problem is I had so many cups and it was so thick that a lot of resin was left in the cups that I couldn't really get out. So I think if you're going to do, that's one thing to kind of think about. If you're going to be pouring like 10 colors, you really need to add more resin because there's going to be a whole lot of resin left in those cups. When each one's going to have remainder in it, so that's not going into the bucket. So just another little kind of thing to think about, Let's see here. So I need to write down a couple of little notes that I forgot. So I forgot to put what mold and what resin on the last one as well as this one. So we're using, I call that my 6 blank mold, and we're using Slow Set Clear from Alumilite. And again, if you guys need to pick up resin, I got a discount code, ZAC10. Use that during your checkout, and you will save 10% on your first order. And if you just need to pick up supplies, and maybe you've already used my code, but you want to help support the show, you can head over and use my affiliate link, which all it is, it just tells Alumilite that I kind of referred you over there, and then I get a bonus from your order, and it costs you nothing. So you can help the show out by using the affiliate links in the description of the video. All right, so we're at 261. We need 280. Just going to double check my notes that that's right, and it is. Oh, 280, 283. One thing I love about Alumilite Clear Slow is it's 1-to-1. So, okay, so I just went over. I could either dump the part, some of the part A back, or all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 283 grams in now, and it's going to be fine. Much easier than trying to do math on a 2-to-1 ratio or some odd one. So 283. I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget while I'm talking and thinking. This is going to take a while. This nozzle's kind of gummed up. Oh, I think it popped loose. The juice is loose. Look at that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I don't even have a clue where we're at. So we need 283. We're at 202. $260. We need 283. 283. Much easier when it's not clogged. I'll tell you that right now. 283. We are there. So I'm going to mix this up. Now again, I could have put my powders in, but I think we're going to have plenty of time for this one. It's going to be a little bit less stressful than the last pour. There's a lot of moving parts going on there. But I wanted to kind of maximize, like I don't have time we can't do 50 different pours tonight. So I'm trying to kind of maximize what we can get with our results, but we'll be doing more of this. I really enjoy kind of just playing around with things, seeing what colors we get and different ideas. So we'll probably be pulling both the molds. I really want to try that other mold, the block mold one from Jake. So we'll probably do that. We might even do it next week. I don't know. We'll see. And then play around with some more of these colors because I think that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty excited about these. Slightly different offerings. That's always awesome. When we get more choices, we win. the consumers, the users of these products. What's the best way to remove wax? Cut it off. You could try and boil it off, I guess. I've heard that one. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience. I've always just cut them off. You could sand it off, I guess. That'd be kind of, I don't know. You'd get wax all over your sandpaper, I guess, though. I've always cut them. Okay, so we need 140 grams in each one of these cups. I've zeroed that out. Let's get this going. 130. $130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. 130. Once again, this doesn't need to be super accurate. It's not that big of a deal. But oh, that's less accurate than I would want to tolerate on this one. Sorry. I went way over and then I went way under. There we go. It's a little bit more to my liking. And I'm going to keep these in order so that I don't screw things up here. So I want violet. And if you really need to be accurate, then I recommend, even if you're using the same kind of cup, you really want to zero your scale out every time if you're going for super accuracy, because especially these like just plastic cups, they're not necessarily. Typically your paint mixing cups, they're pretty accurate, but like the same weight and everything, but even still I wouldn't rely on that. I would recommend zero the scale out every single time is the proper way. In this case, I'm not that worried about it, so it's not going to affect anything. So we got golden violet. That's this cup. I forgot to say how much we're going to put. So got 140 grams. Let's just put another. Yeah, we're going to put another half teaspoon of each of these guys in. I think that'll work pretty good. Is Casey still here? I don't know. Not sure if Casey. I was gonna throw out there. Do you have any ratios or anything like for just regular mica powders? Anything that you go by? I'm sure we've probably talked about this on the podcast, but and this is the violet one. So we're gonna put this. This is the violet macro pearl. I really want to. One thing that we didn't do anything, didn't do at all today. That I would really like to do, maybe we'll do this next week, is I want to play around with these macro pearls with dyes. Probably also even just the white holographic and, some different things. Throw some dyes in these things and kind of play with that. We haven't even scratched the surface. Like, we're just kind of mixing the micas together, but, you can really get kind of crazy with these things, especially, like I said, the macro pearl things. Depending on whether you go with like the alumilite dyes, which are transparent, or if you go with the divine pigments, which are opaque, that'll change things up, right? So it just gets crazy when you start talking about color with resin, with these different types of pigments and dyes. All right, so this is the red macro hollow. What is it called? Macro red color shift. There we go. Say the name right. And, like the macro pearl, just standard macro pearl, that one works really well. Like, you can get like a diamond, like the diamond dust effect by just adding dye to it. So this is like color shift, plus you could get like a diamond dust. It's like 50 things going on at once. It's going to be pretty sweet. Okay, so we got that mixed. Now I'm going to be pouring these two. These are the macro colors. I'm going to pour them first in my mold. And I have no clue how this is all going to go down, but I just thought let's give it a shot. I don't usually do that. If I'm doing like color swirl blanks, I don't usually pour two things at once and just kind of, mix it around or whatever. Hopefully what we'll kind of get with that is the two edges are going to be, violet macro pearl and then golden violet mostly on those pen blanks. We'll kind of get an idea of what that looks like together. And then in the middle, and then on the other side we'll have just the red and then the golden Syrah. And then in the middle, hopefully it'll be kind of like all of them. That's kind of how I'm hoping that this will go down. Probably ain't going to be like perfect or anything. But we can hope. We can always hope. Ooh, that's a nice red too. Got nice and mixed in. We're probably pretty close to ready. So I'll probably pour these around 101. Yeah, definitely 105 probably. So I alter things, pouring times and stuff, depending on depending on the temperature in my shop. I find that when it starts warming up in the shop, so for like most of the year, winter, fall, and spring, and I know we're still kind of in spring, but it is kind of starting to warm up a little bit. When it's 68 degrees, basically, it's usually like 68 degrees for like 5/8 of the year, or I don't know, maybe half the year or something like that. And so typically I'll pour it like 95, 100 with Alumilite Clear Slow. But once the temperature starts kind of moving around, then I kind of change it, because what I find is the resin is thinner viscosity. You know, just sitting out on the desk here, it changes the viscosity of the resin. And the pores kind of end up a little bit different. The color, the swirling and all that kind of stuff, the way it works. So I kind of wait for a little bit higher temperature in the warmer months, and that kind of balances out that thickness. Viscosity, if you will. All right, so let's see here. So I'm looking at Casey's response here. Baker, yeah. Yeah, a teaspoon. Yeah, so this is half a teaspoon, and that's, if you mix it up and then pull the stick out, you can't see the stick. So half teaspoon for 140 grams, that's going to be plenty. I probably could have easily just used a quarter teaspoon, because both of these are totally opaque. I don't even think you would need to paint tubes. I would still recommend it whenever you're using micas like this, but just to make sure, but probably don't need to. Now with these, they're totally transparent, right? I could keep adding. So we're at 103. I need to pour these guys. Went a little bit, yeah, 105. That's what I was saying, about 105, I guess. Yeah, we're at 105. Okay, so here's how this is going to go down again. Let me put these guys to the sides. Get this thing in the middle, and we're probably a little over 105 at this point, but that's okay. Okay, so we poured our macro color shifts. We got red on the right, and red and violet are fairly similar. It's a little bit more kind of reddish, a little bit more, you know, purple on this side, but they are somewhat similar looking. And then what we're going to do here is we got our red. It's the Syrah, golden Syrah, and we got golden violet. And what I'm going to try to do is just kind of keep, you know, pour these in kind of swirls back and forth, staying on the same side. Like I said, I have no clue if this is probably not how I would normally do this ever, but this is kind of hard two-handed. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these little small guys, and what I want to do is, I don't want to get too far here, but I want to just kind of swirl this up. Okay, I got that side, and then I want to come over here. All right. Who knows? I don't know how that's going to turn out in the end, but it looks awesome in the bucket. I'll tell you that right now. Look at that. That's pretty. I'm actually going to hit this with a little bit of a torch action. Get these bubbles off the top. You can kind of see. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Woo, I like it. I'm digging it. Okay, into the pressure pot you go. All right, and don't forget to use, I don't know how many times I've forgotten to pressurize the pressure pot on the stream. I usually don't, that usually doesn't happen to me when I'm doing it alone. Sometimes I get done and then I start talking about something and then I totally forget. So don't forget, but I actually did that off the stream the other day. I was hurrying, got it in the pressure pot and walked away and came back and it was all bubbly. So don't forget that. It's always an important one. All right, so there we have it. Let's see what's happening in the chat over here. See here. You want the middle one? Yeah, actually, it looked pretty sweet in the middle. I'm hoping that we get that effect, you know. It seemed like kind of what I was, you know, explaining with the, you know, kind of sort of separated, you know, the two colors on the outsides and then the like everything a little bit in the middle. Seemed to be kind of how it turned out. We'll have to kind of see how these things look once we cut them up. Now, these things are going to be pretty see-through. So again, you know, you're going to want to paint the inside of the blank, I would probably say, because that macro is very see-through. Maybe we could have added, you know, even more of that to it, but I kind of like having it see-through because that way it'll add depth. And the way to get around it is just paint the inside of the blank. That will cover up the glue splotches as well as any brass showing through. But having a very transparent thing next to those very opaque pearls, you know, in the final pen, or let's just even if you were making like a diamond painting pen, you're going to have ridiculous depth. And so the clear areas with that color shift stuff going on is going to be wicked with a dark background. I think these things are going to be phenomenal, honestly. It's going to be pretty sweet. So what temperature did I pour in? I'm not sure what you're asking. Temperature doesn't really matter for when you pour the mica in. I don't think, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. And I'm super stoked about that other mold. So we'll definitely do the other mold next week. So let's just plan on this because I'm excited about this, and I'm guessing hopefully you guys are to kind of play around with these different. I need to wipe this thing off. I just realized I don't like this stuff. I like to wipe off the Alumilite clear, or I guess any resin off my plastic sticks, so that I can use them right away. I don't like to have to wait to peel it off. But I'm pretty excited about this stuff. It's really fun, kind of. I don't know, playing around with different colors and new products and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys are excited too. But I'm very excited about this guy. Just like I said, I don't have two of these big pressure pots. And so I don't know, supposedly TCP Global was going to be sending me one. I haven't heard or gotten one, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that. But eventually I may get the California Air Tools one from Turner's Warehouse. I know a lot of people like that one. It wouldn't be bad to have one in the shop. I think it's the same thing as the TCP ones too, but anyway, we will get this thing cleared out next week and we will do some of these blocks. Man, these molds are sweet. So I don't want to put Jake on the spot, but I know people are going to be asking, and I'm pretty sure what he's doing is ramping up, getting things ready to actually produce these. All right, so I don't mean to put him, I don't want to put you on the spot, buddy, but people are going to ask anyway. So just be patient. Those things should be, and I'll let him kind of answer it. I think they should be, you know, like ready to be sold soon. You know, he's just kind of tweaking things, getting a little bit of like last minute feedback before they go live. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's the game plan with those things. And man, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a nicer silicone mold, you know, out there. Those things are sweet. You get a ton of blanks poured all at once. And who knows, he's probably, we didn't talk about this, I don't know, but I'm just going to throw it out there. He's probably going to come up with even, you know, more configurations and different things once he kind of gets things rolling. So very well made, very awesome stuff. A month or two, there you go, sweet. Yeah, I know, the colors of the molds, I mean, those things are as beautiful as any pen blank I've ever made with resin. Those things are awesome. And actually, yeah, no, I thought I had a question. I don't have a question. I know the answer. Yeah, we can wait a month. I mean, it'll be worth the wait, guys. I'm pretty sure. So let me see if there's any other. Yeah, the holder. I mean, it's such a simple thing. He's really thought of a lot of stuff. Let's see. Did Casey ask about or answer the silicone mats? So they're pretty big. I'm gonna measure this thing. He probably knows right off the top of his head. I need to find a tape measure. He's probably gonna answer before I get this thing actually measured. There's probably already an answer in the chat that I didn't see. So they're 32 by 24. 24 by 32 silicone mats. So for anybody that didn't see these, I didn't put this up because my mats are still good. But these are another product that they're selling. And you guys know I love my silicone mats. Like, they just non-stick. If you make any spills, you can save your desktops. So they got those things. So again, head over to winecountrymica.com. There's a link down in the show notes. I'll put some up in the chat right here again real quick before we get going. I got them up. So we got winecountrymica.com. That's where you can get all those mica powders we were playing with. And there's even more, you know, for people that didn't see the beginning, I kind of showed all of what they got. There's lots of colors, but just head over to the website and you can, you know, go through and shop. And then, and again, guys, for anybody, most of you guys, I'm guessing, like are probably already subscribed to and follow Casey and Jake, their YouTube channels. But if for some reason you don't know about them, make sure to subscribe, because if you like my channel, you're going to love theirs too. They do exactly the same stuff. You know, Jake's got honestly, all three of us pretty much do the same content where, you know, we're covering different, you know, tips and techniques and stuff for resin. Jake's got live streams going on right now. I know Casey's firing up the videos again. He was moving and finishing college and doing all this stuff. So there's been kind of a little bit of a lag in the videos, but now he's going to be doing all kinds of playing with these micas and doing different stuff, showing you how to use them and get good results. So you're going to love it. He's got all kinds of tips and techniques and different, you know, castings. So make sure to follow those guys and follow them on Instagram too, because they post cool stuff there. One other thing I want to ask Jake, do you have blanks? I should have asked before. Do you have blanks on your website? Do you have stuff going on your website? Where's your website? You have a website? Oh, there's the shirt shop. I saw the shirt shop. There it is, Northside Custom Car. There's the, here we go. Products. No products for sale at this time, but there's going to be, and I'm guessing you're selling them on your website. So just so you guys know, and I'll add a link down in the show notes for people that are watching later. But be looking for those molds coming soon, a month or so. I think you guys are going to really like them. But keep in mind, that size won't fit in a Harbor Freight or even a CA Technologies 2.5 gallon. You want to be having the 5 gallon California Air Tools, the TCP Global. If you are like me and spent way too much money on a CA Technologies 5 gallon, it'll fit in there obviously. So they're made for the big ones. So, and for anybody that's doing production runs, I mean, you got 10 blanks if you're doing the pen blank thing, and you got a brick and a few other different things on the other mold. You know, you could get a few of those things And how many could you stack in here? Tons, right? So you could really produce a lot of blanks with these things. They're pretty sweet. Yeah, Jake does awesome stuff on his tutorials. The resin room, yeah, he's working on a resin room. I'm jealous. I was thinking about doing that like last year. Well, I've wanted to do it forever and then put air conditioning in, because I was telling you that I really cannot stand the fluctuation in temperature in my shop. I really wish that I could climate control the thing and leave it at 68, 70, probably 70 every day of the year. But it's just not economical to air condition a 4,000 square foot shop. That's the bigger structure. My dad's shop is huge. So we're not going to air condition the whole thing. And well, now I think our shot is completely, our hopes are completely drowned with we were going to buy a house, supposedly. That's been the plan for 8 years. And so I've always like held out for, well, I'll just, make a resin room when we buy a house and I build a shop. Well, at this point, I'm not even holding my breath on a house. So, but then the building supplies went up, so I'm not going to do it now either. But he's building it in. It should be a really nice thing. It should be pretty good for video stuff too. You can kind of soundproof or, like do the sound panels and all that kind of stuff in there. It should be pretty sweet. Anyway, I think I'm going to head out. I got to get a few other things done before I go home. Oh, and it's family game night tonight, so I got to go home early on top of it. But anyway, guys, big thank you to everybody that super chatted. I really appreciate all the support. And big thank you to Jake and Casey for hooking me up with all the products that we use today. They are awesome. I'm really happy with these different things going on with the mica powders. And, you guys saw those molds are wicked. So 30 days or so. I'm going to hold you to that, 30 days. So June 12th. I expect those molds to be available on your website, Jake. Just kidding, man. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Sorry, I was kind of a little bit focused on doing all these things. I wasn't really that active with the chat, but everybody, you guys can hold your own in the chat. So, and don't forget, guys, Friday, patrons, we're going to be doing the resin. Well, I don't know if it's really a river, but a hybrid shelf. Big pour with some wood in there. So be looking for that this Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, same place. You guys get the link on Patreon. And so we'll do that for the demo. And don't forget your questions for the second half of the hangout, all right? So anyway, guys, yeah, game on. We play Yahtzee. There's like this Yahtzee, so, with everything that's going on, we haven't been able to kind of visit some of our family. And so we end up doing this thing with my brother and sister-in-law who are down in Phoenix, and then my mother-in-law who's here with us, but we haven't really been going over to her house. So we all do Yahtzee at the same time. It's like a Zoom. We do like a Zoom call, and then there's this Yahtzee game that you can all play online. So it's kind of fun. It's a pandemic game night. It's pretty cool though. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys all next Wednesday. We'll do a little bit more fun, and I might even come up with a couple different things now that I've kind of, had all these things out on like the micas, out on the desk. Give me a week, and I might even come up with a few other random things that I want to kind of put together and try out with these things that maybe we haven't seen before. So it should be pretty fun. Next Wednesday, we'll get a little bit crazier, maybe even. I don't know if you can get much more crazy than we were tonight, but we'll have a little bit of fun next week doing the Wine Country Micas and hitting up that block mold from Jake and all that kind of good stuff. So I will see you guys all next week. Have a wonderful evening and get in the shop and do some resin casting. I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one, guys.